Why? Because I think I discussed about it that existence also creates. So the human being is you can say, a duplicate of the existence. They can also create. Problem is that their creation is imperfect. Why? Because they have a limited knowledge. We don't know. I'm going to talk to you, giving you the knowledge. Where we both do not know whether you today also the awakening will take place or not. But for their existence, it is clear. They do everything perfect. So, in the last, if I remember correctly, 10 or 12 sessions, we have done the practice and we have also understood the principles. Make it very clear. On a given day, when the mind seems to be confused, it has lot of thoughts, become aware, find out with becoming aware, the confusion dissolves. Confusion dissolves, you are a seeker number A. Now the confusion does not resolve, start the practice. Pick up the last practice, do it. And make it sure that you do 2 or 3 practices during that day. Find the time. Why? Because because by becoming aware, the confusion is not going. So it means the mind is not fully ready for contemplation and reflection. Mind is not ready for for simply receiving the knowledge. It is not ready for viveka. After the practice, you can do the viveka. So you should need to go to at least find out what are the 10 or 12 sessions and what are their topics and how that is helping the mind first to get rid of all the confusion. Second, it helps me to live in a higher awareness. Two, and third, the state of the calm and the peace is maintained. When the calm and peace is maintained, obviously confusion is not there, and then we can. I think I talked about it, but the moment you say I'm an individual, I am suffering, I am happy, I am going to the business, this is nothing. There is no I am. It is only the conscious mind. Mind is conscious, that's what. Now think, mind is conscious mind or mind is conscious. So that mind, conscious mind, is nothing but the reflected consciousness. And what is reflected consciousness? The mind is the medium, mirror is the medium, sun rays falls on that mirror, the medium, and I see the reflected light. That is conscious mind. So that conscious mind says, no, I'm doing it. I am. I'm doing it. Come on. There is no I. Conscious mind, individual. We are going very deeper. So that's why I'm directly talking of that principle. Not many masters talk that, in some journey, Ashtavakra says it is your ego. Tadaham Tada bandhanam. Where there is ego, there is a bondage. So why there is a bondage? Because that reflected consciousness claims this is me. This is me. That is what the ego is. So whether you say conscious mind, ego, individual, ah, they are all the same. There is no difference. There is no difference. Because if the mind is not conscious, you do not recognize I. But the conscious mind, reflected consciousness, recognizes that I is truth. That is not true. That is why we need viveka. You see, that is why we need viveka. So, we are this in today's session. I think we will ask the mind to settle in that knowledge of the seer number one. Seer in the scene number one. What is the goal? Goal is to know what is truth, what is false, leave the false, be with the truth. Master says, either we are with the truth, either that reflected consciousness is with the truth or it is with the false. Okay? So now I have lot of confusion because of the conscious mind. If the conscious mind is not there, how can you recognize confusion? Do you recognize confusion in deep sleep? So you see that in deep sleep, conscious mind is unmanifest, so the reflected consciousness is also unmanifest. In deep sleep, conscious mind is not manifest, so what the conscious mind says, confusion, conflict, problem, pain, suffering, is also not there. Partial. You can say 50-50. In dream stage, 50 it is conscious, semi-conscious. 50 it is not conscious. So that is the dream state. And in a waking state, it is fully conscious. It takes the help of the memory, ego, intellect, and it claims that this is me. I'm confused. I'm suffering. But the challenge is that conscious mind can only undertake the journey. So now, why I chose that topic, because many times you used in the previous session, uh, oh, after all, it is ego, it is ego. Ego, conscious mind, thoughts, constant bombardment of the thought, this is nothing but the reflected consciousness. It is the moonlight, it is not the sunlight. And moonlight is borrowed. That is why we say it is reflected consciousness. Mind is otherwise a matter. Otherwise, the mind is the matter, and the matter, as if, comes in contact with the consciousness. So that mind is so subtle, it acts like a mirror, it reflects the consciousness, and that is what the conscious mind and the reflected consciousness is. So we are talking only on we do all the transactions in the world, we think, we speak and act in the world either through one of the three eyes or all the three eyes. And they are so much mixed up. Oh, I'm crazy? You said me crazy? That I am the body, because I see through the sense organ. Now I'm upset. Oh, where you are upset? In the mind. I'm talking about the third eye, witness eye. That witness eye is recognizing that the mind is upset and also recognizes the mind is calm and listening to the teacher. Oh, so what do you mean? Is the third that I is the real self? Yes. What do you mean? That mind cannot be separated from the real self at any point of time. Only thing in deep sleep happens that this mind becomes unmanifest, reflected consciousness is unmanifest. That is all. Otherwise, we cannot separate. I am calm. So I'm talking about calmness of the mind, peace in the mind, the joy that is coming from somewhere deep within. So there is some witness. That witness is known as Sakshi. That witness is known as Vipassana in Buddhism. It's not 10-day camp. Vipassana is all at every moment. 10 days camp of Vipassana. And after that there is no Vipassana. Yes, in Jainism we say preksha. Preksha. Patanjali, Patanjali says asampragyat samadhi, asampragyat meditation. So they all talk about it. So we are going to talk and understand that I number one is outside, I number two is at the subtler level, and the real I is behind that I number two. I means me, real self. Now I see you. You are listening to me. This is I number one because sense organs, my eyes, sense organs have become the I. They are the seer or the knower. I see you. There is a room. There is a space. Space separates you from me. You are there and I am here. It's all a play of awareness. I'm simply aware. So while listening, you are not even thinking in the same direction if you want to think. But if you are not thinking, you are listening and you become aware. Yes, you are there and I am here. I know you and see you. So you can also say, for me, you are the object to be known. For me, you are the object to be known. For you, I am the object to be known. Here and now. So now our masters in the Eastern wisdom says, when I claim that I know you, first thing that I am separate from you, I am different from you, and whatever I know is an object. And who knows in me is a subject. So I am a subject, you are an object. That I is the seer and the knower because I know you. So I am a knower. Because I know you as an object, you are the known. You wake up in the morning. The first eye, the outermost eye, sees the room, restroom, shower, breakfast, that eye. And then you say, then then you find out that I'm calm, fairly calm. So mental calmness is witnessed by the third eye. That is why we say that real self is always present. That consciousness is always present without being filtered by the mind or the sense organs. Come back to the seer and the seen number one, subject and object number one, knower or the known number one. See that? Pair, first pair. Are we clear? I know you. I don't. Oh yeah, Adolf, Adolf Huxley, the Nobel laureate in physics from the Britain, says that because there is no gap between the knower and the known, we identify with the known. There is no gap between the body and I. I don't see it because of ignorance, so that I say, I claim I am the body. I am my eyes. So when I am my eyes, then only I claim that I see you. It is supported by the mind in thought. I feel the touch. Touch is done by the skin. I feel the smell. I don't feel the smell. The nose is feeling the smell. Eyes are looking at you. Eyes is looking at the world of name and the form. So during these couple of days, you start living mentally separating. Okay, I know the office, separate and different from me. There is a difference between the knower and the known. You cannot separate physically, I have to separate mentally. So if we are clear, I know you, pair is I and you. I in the home, I in the office, I in the coffee. Go ahead. What did you find? That I is common. I is one. But the objects are many. One eye can see many objects behind you. I see you, I see your clothes, I see the island in the kitchen, I see the shelf, I see the color, I see the light. One pair of eyes, I, is one, means the seer is one, seen are many. Seen are many. Seen means the objects are many. Objects means the material world and millions of objects. We know each of them, even while sitting there and listening to me. You can feel the touch of the chair. You can feel the touch of the body. You know there is no smell. Oh. So all the sense organ acts as if I am. And that is what we call the seer, and seen are the material world. They are different. They are different. They are different. So three pairs. Pair number one, outermost pair. What is that pair? Pair is seer and the seen. Pair is seer and the seen. Who is the seer? Seer is I am. And what is the seen? The object that I see, that I feel, that I touch, that I think of. The moment I see you physically, I close my eyes, the pair number 2 comes. I see the image, your image in my mind. You are sitting there. Who tells me? The mind has become the seer, that conscious mind, that ego mind, that individual. See that? The way I see you with my closed eyes, the image, I see your image, so you also see my image. Subtle. Why it is subtle? It is not seen by the senses. So the role of the senses has gone, and the mind becomes the seer, reflected consciousness, second pair. Now see, the mind has lot of thoughts and the mind is a bit confused. So I'm aware that the mind is confused. That I am aware is the real self here and now. It is here and now. But we are only talking, just give you a glimpse, we are only talking of the first pair only. First pair, senses are the seer, sense organs are the seer, and the respective objects are the seen. Here you see another level of ignorance comes. We have to be vigilant, and so I see you. So I say objects are illumined by the sense organ. You are an object, and my eyes has illumined you as an object. Illumine the object behind you, illumine the shelf behind you. So that eyes, physical eyes, has no power if there is no consciousness in it. Without consciousness, these eyes are useless. This nose is useless. But if I get obsessed with these sense organ and claim this is me, that results into a lot of confusion and conflict and stress and suffering in our day-to-day life. One vision perceives all colors, all forms. Why I am saying so? I am saying so that to see the red color, my eyes do not become red. To see the green color, my eyes do not become green. So the eyes as a seer do not change relatively. You see how the masters, this master, this is another text. It is known as Drishya Viveka. He has given only how many? Maybe 36 or 37 verses. He doesn't talk about the master, he doesn't talk about praying, he doesn't talk about mantra. He says, are you ready? So if you are a seeker, you are ready, follow that, and you are there. So in the first 5 or 6 verses, he explains about the 3 seers, three eyes. They constantly work. We constantly work with these three eyes. Now, return again. My eyes do not become red. My eyes do not become green to see the green. My eyes do not become feminine or masculine to see the male and the man and the women. What is the conclusion? That seer, as long as the eyes are the seer, they do not change. The first characteristic of eye is that I do not change. We were born 5 years old, I, 10 years old, I, 20 years old, I. So there is one thing is very clear that I remain the same. Body changes, my eyesight changes, my relationship with the people changes. I become husband or a wife or a father. A lot of changes taking place, but that I remain the same. So even our sense organ do not forget the real I. What? Why it does not forget? Because it is not changing. As long as this sense organ is the seer, it is not changing. It is the seer. But when it becomes a seen, it will change. So what is the criteria to know real self? That seer which never changes. I have to find out that seer which never changes, which is ever present, which is pure consciousness, which is of the nature of knowledge. So, with that understanding, the Master says, are you ready to apply Viveka here? I say, here is a world. My husband, my wife, my kids are world for me. They are separate and different because I know them. Whatever I know is different and separate from me will ever remain different and separate from me. My house, my car, my phone, my brother, my sister, my husband, my wife, my son, my daughter. The moment you think and contemplate, you will find some crazy movements of attachment. What do you say? What do you say? I am related. You are related falsely. You are related falsely. What we are searching, we want to know what is real self. We want to know what is. No, so it means if I'm related falsely, should I leave them? That is another mistake. Conscious mind comes and becomes an ego. As if ego is the real self. So hence, now I realize that all are false self, so I have to separate from them. So you are acting on the world outside, you are not acting on your mind. That people make the mistake. What is the world for me is not me. So I am different and separate from the world. So now I'm bringing the teachings of another master who says there are only two things in the world: I am and I am not. Seer and the seen. There is I am, so I am recognizes that I am the sense organ, is the seer. We are picking up only the first level, the first I. and the world outside is what I am not. So, can I maintain an awareness? Whatever I know, I feel, I think of is the world. No, I'm thinking about my honey. That is also a word. No, I'm thinking about my brother or daughter. No, that is also a word. For the consciousness that relationship is material. So there are only two things, I am and I am not. I am. I have a lot of confusion about what I am not, and I have also a lot of confusion about what I am. And we are removing that confusion by Vivek. Simple. Viveka in the mind. Seer in the seen. Knower in the known. Do I need to practice to know that I am and I am not? No practice can help you. But to whom? Who is a seeker, whose mind is ready to listen, contemplate, and reflect? The mind which is not ready to contemplate and reflect and full of conflict and confusion has to go down to the practices. Do Om Namah Shivaya, do Krishna Namah, do Kundalini, do lot of breathing, do everything. Put yourself into the practice so that at least you can experience the state of calmness. In that state of the calmness, the mind is ready to do the viveka. Is the mind ready to do the viveka now? Yes, then we need to practice. I can instantly recognize I'm now aware. No, this computer is very lovely for me, very dear to me. Mind says, but no, this is the world. We are not throwing the computer, but at least you are separating in your head. Why you are separating? You want to know what is the real self. So you keep your goal clear, you have a penetration, you are intensely aware and attentive. Let us go a little deeper. I see you through the eyes behind, there is a mind. So when I see you through the eyes, when I say I see you means eyes are the seer and the mind is supporting. That crazy mind always supports what is false. Why mind supports? Because the mind is already attached. So that we will talk about the seer number 2 later. We are just picking up the eyes are the seer. I'm repeating again. Pay attention. I see you through the eyes, and there is an awareness that you are the world for me. But eyes cannot think and speak that I see you, it is the mind. But the mind cannot support the eyes without the consciousness, without that awareness. And I am that awareness. Finished. Journey is finished. Now, if that you maintain, eye sits in the eyes or the sense organ, one eye. Eye sits in the mind, second eye. Eye sits in the real self, third eye. The mind does not allow that I to sit in the real self. It has many excuses. It has And that is what the impurities of the mind are. What is the point of ignorance? I have to recognize it's a cognitive ability. In modern psychology, we say cognitive ability. But in Eastern wisdom, we say there is an awareness. Now, through the mind, I understand that I possess my eyes. I am not my eyes. Eyes are the instrument. Cognitive ability. I cannot separate my eyes. What do you need to practice? To know that I possess my eyes and I am not my eyes? Nothing. I have to simply become aware. So I lose my awareness. Why I lose my awareness? Because I am attached. Why there is an attachment? Because there is an impurity in the mind. The mind wants to rush outside and claim, here I am. It covers, it veils the I that is going to sit in the real self. I am not my eyes. Eyes are mine, but I am not my eyes. Am I aware? If I am aware, the mind tends to move inside. The mind stops thinking in relationship to the eyes. You find that sense of blankness in the space. So when you live into that, we can move to the second eye. You can say it's a summary of all the previous 10 or 12 lessons. Then think again and again. I see you mean there is another element. I see your shape and the form and the mind defines the gender. That's okay. That's okay. But I see you mean I'm conscious of you. I'm aware of you. Yes, I'm aware of you. I'm conscious of you. By default, I don't pay attention and still I'm conscious of what is behind you. By default. Natural. Consciousness, awareness, natural. You know what is this? Consciousness. We will talk in detail and understand in detail. It is something like kindness. Consciousness. Awareness. Kindness. That shows that consciousness is all pervading. I see you. Mean I am conscious of you. I am aware of you. I know and see donkey does not mean that I become the donkey, because that is object, that is the word. Only in the field of awareness, examining inside the head, through that awareness separates me from becoming, senses becoming the seer. I don't need any practice at all. I am conscious of the seer and the seen both. So when we are clear about the seer and the seen, what is that clarity? I see you, it means I am not present in the world outside. I see you, it means I am not present in you. It means I am separate and different from you. And if that is clear, can we live from moment to moment in that state of separation? This I will be destroyed by itself. Go back again. First pair, we are talking of the seer and the seen, number one. Means that seer number one are all over sense organs. When we say I see you, that is I touch you, that I is my skin. I hear you, that I is my ears. I smell you, that I is my nose. All the sense organs takes up the role of a seer, of a knower of I am. No animals can recognize, we can recognize. That's why we need viveka. But we are clear, we are not our eyes, we are none of these sense organs. Once there is a viveka, means the knowledge dawns, there is an awareness, that awareness is a knowledge that makes me 100% clear that no sense organs is me or I am. What happens? It prevents the mind to go crazy. You are in your office, you do your work, you are at your home, you do your work. Finished. Not attached. Is that state of mindfulness? Yes, that is also the state of mindfulness. So when we remain in confusion, when we think and speak and act in confusion, senses plays the role of I am. Fact is that these sense organs cannot become the I. They become the I or the knower because of impurities in the mind, because of ignorance. When this ignorance started, beginningless. We cannot say that when it started. Because if I say it has started in 1950, it means before 1950 there was no ignorance. So I will falsify myself. It is beginningless. That is why we say beginningless. Understand that. Seer number one. Seer number one has to see the objective material world only. We negate seer number one in our mind through the knowledge and awareness without inviting any conflict and confusion in the mind. If there is a conflict and confusion, we have to go back and practice. Because mind is not calm, mind is not ready to contemplate and reflect. What is that confusion? I was teaching many, many years ago in India, and so I discussed about this first seer and the seen. So that guy went to his home and he told directly to his wife that there is no wife, there is no husband, don't disturb me. So luckily that she was also my student and she came to me and she said, this is what he is saying. So this is what happens in between the ignorance. That is why every master goes slowly settles, when the person settles down, then only we can talk about these issues. I talked to you. Take it for granted. Conscious mind, individual, ego, they are the same thing. No difference. Ego is a reflected consciousness in deep sleep. The conscious mind is not there, unmanifest. So ego is also unmanifest. So you have been talking a lot about ego. This is nothing but the conscious mind. Means mind is conscious. Conscious mind. Mind is conscious. Mind is conscious only because of consciousness. So it is a reflected consciousness. So due to the ignorance, it claims that this is mine. You live into the moment, you have some conflict and confusion, find out it is ego, it is an individual, it is a conscious mind. It brings a total change in my perception in my life. Don't separate conscious mind with the ego, the individuality, they all are same. Reflected consciousness. Mind says I am. Mind is the reflected consciousness. So when we say goodbye, remember, we keep using this I in the transactional world. We constantly use I see you, you see me. You're listening to me, I'm talking to you. But that has no value. It is just for the sake of using communication. Okay, very good. At least 10 times every day, you look at your right hand, you say that I look at the right hand. And now then keep calmness. Keep calmness and ask, right hand, are you looking at me? Answer is no. But I have to live into that cognitive ability. Neither my head nor my ears, eyes, none of these sense organs can know me. Or they cannot say that I know you and I do not know you. If that is true, then the same computer also does not know me, cannot know me. It means whatever is matter does not know me, cannot know me. Whatever is matter is I am not. It is the material world, and the material world does not know me, cannot know me. Really? Really? Yes. No, but someone says you are crazy, then why should I get upset? No, you don't listen to me, you don't understand me. Okay, help me, make me understand. I will listen to you. Now I'm sitting. And you will find those people, they will move in their ego when you tell them, okay, I'm sitting with you, tell me. I'm crazy, then okay, I accept you. What else? They get more disturbed. So we should not disturb us. So it tells us the journey of the false and the real. Ah, I am free. I am free. Another contemplation and reflection we should, you keep thinking in the clarity of the mind. Eyes are not me, clear. So eyes claim as a seer number one, eye number one. So eye number one is all the sense organs we use daily, but they are all senses. Senses are not me, sense organs are not me, but I am conscious of the senses. I am conscious of the sense organs, and no sense organ is conscious of me. So it means I is somewhere deeper inside the sense organ. I am conscious of the object seen by the sense organs. I am conscious. Sense organs are not conscious of the objects. My eyes are not conscious of you. I am conscious of you. But the sense organ cannot, they are inert. So how can I claim that my eye sees you?
But
But,
but
but
without
without
sense
sense
organs, there
organs,
is
there is
no
no
difference
difference
between
between
you
you
and
and
me.
me.
Beautiful. Live into that awareness. That is where we are approaching. Because it is only the sense organ that limits the object that we see. You're right. I'm reversing that statement. So you see that my sense organ has a limited capacity, sound, sight. So it limits the object. And you are right. When that eye is not sitting in the sense organs, so that eye is a false eye is not sitting in the sense organs, the false eye disappears, then there is no difference between you and me. But again, same thing, how we arrive at that awareness when you said that when I is not sitting in the sense organ, but there is a consciousness. It's still there. That consciousness recognizes there is no difference between you and me. I am pure consciousness. We have covered only the first part, so we'll do second and third. So you so ultimately we come to that I am pure consciousness. What is pure consciousness? All pervading, all knowing. Consciousness is in the knowledge. That consciousness is Satchidanand. That consciousness is the Shiva in Kundalini. So this master only in 36 verses. We are covering only the first part of the first 5 verses. Last part is very important. I must cover it. Now everything is important, but it should be in a flow. The knowledge is spoken in 3 ways. That knowledge is consciousness. That knowledge is awareness. That we must know through the mind, understanding into the intellect. Then only we can have a clarity, and then only we can do the viveka. I see you. Then I close my eyes and I see your image. When I see your image, this mind does not stop there. Mind says that image is you. and there is a thought. That is why we say thought is a product of knowledge. Can I go again? I see you. So now I see you in your mind. What is this thought? I see you. I see the image. Oh, this is a thought. Thought is the product of knowledge. Only question is whether the knowledge is right or wrong. Follow the right knowledge and you are there. Are you getting it? The,
No.
we want to know, if I ask a question, we want to know what is the cause of the knowledge in the mind. It is the thought. The answer to the cause of knowledge in the mind is a thought. And if I'm not conscious of the thought, then I cannot say I see you. Little deeper, but not very deep. You can pick up. Even if you don't pick up, listen to it again and think, my daughter, thought, knowledge, consciousness. What is the cause of the knowledge in the mind? Thought. We have only to examine if the thought takes me to the wrong notion or the thought takes me to the right notion. That is the rule of Viveka. So in the world, when I meet my daughter, yes, you are my daughter. Who says you are not? But internally I know. So that thought, Patanjali says it is vritti. Yeah, yogas chitta vritti nirodha, emptying the mind of its content. So first type of the knowledge is the thought. Thought is the product of knowledge. Second type of knowledge, can you imagine? Second type of the knowledge is about the knower. I know that I know you. Are you getting it?
But
I.
it's also
It is about the knower. One is the thought is the product of knowledge. So when I use the thought, what the thought I use? I know you. So it means I also know that I, who is a knower of you. Are you getting it? No, don't get it, no worries. Just listen. Second type of the knowledge is about the knower. Michael knows. Michael knows Brandy.
but everything about I.
Obviously. Our search is who am I? So, first type of the knowledge, thought is the product of knowledge. From that thought, now we want to know, when I say I know you, what do you mean by that I? No, that I means the knower. That I means the doer. That I means the seer. Second type of knowledge. Yeah. Second type of the knowledge. And what is the third type of the knowledge? That is none of the two above. That is yourself. Because, because knowledge is there, that's why mind knows it. Michael knows Brandy. So here the Michael is the knower. So I know the Michael knows brandy means the Michael claims he has a knowledge about the brandy. Now I use the same I know you. So I want to know who is this I, who is a knower, who has the knowledge of you. I am picking up the knower, doer, or you can say in the beginning, experiencer. Two types of knowledge. And the knowledge that is neither of the two above. Neither of the knowledge knows no boundaries. Knowledge cannot be bound, cannot be limited, cannot be stolen. That we know 100%. What is that knowledge? It's pure consciousness. What is that consciousness? It is Satchidanand. What is that Satchidanand? It is real self. It is real self. So when we live in the life of a seeker, that seeker uses the cognitive faculty to live into that state of awareness. So that I sits with the real self, not in the mind. That is the second we will take up next time. And the first, it is aware, it is not sitting, it is using the sense organs. At present, the sense organs are using me, the mind is using me. Why they are using me? Because of ignorance. And that is why we say the mindfulness is not a practice, it is a non practice.